Cougar fans, use this radio station tomorrow morning for important news updates. Listen to Utah's most important radio station tomorrow morning from 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Last segment of the show, Cougar Nation breaking down the loss against Cincy, which, Mitch, I think we've broke that one down enough.
Yes.
So let's turn the page to West Virginia, but we'll still take your calls. 801-575-8255. What do they need to do differently to end the losing streak tomorrow, which is a 5 p.m. tip-off? You can watch it on CBS Sports Network. And as always, you can listen to the Cougs right here on the Legacy Home, KSL News Radio. I was looking at the box score, so BYU won this game, and this kind of felt like a bit of a turning point last year, that win in Morgantown. Foose had a big game. I thought it was noteworthy, though, Mitch, in that win, they had 48 in the second half. They only played 8 players. And Tiki only saw like 4 minutes. So really they only played 7 players in that win against Morgantown. I just thought that was interesting when contrasting that against this year's team where it feels like they're north of 10 every single game. They're playing more than 10 guys. Only 7 guys, meaningful minutes in the win last year at Morgantown.
West Virginia has the best defense in the Big 12, at least in terms of, or second best defense behind Houston in terms of scoring margin. Their lowest scoring offense. They are a slower paced team. So the up and down tempo that BYU has experienced in recent games.
You said this about Cincy on Cougar Sports Saturday, low-scoring team.
I know. Cincinnati was the worst offense in the Big 12, and then they just lit it up with Jizzle James and Day Thomas, the best names in the Big 12. But I do believe West Virginia, this is kind of their identity where, they are going to be a slower-paced team. Now, West Virginia has an outstanding guard who BYU, some of the returning players like Dallin Hall, Trevin Nell, they've gotten a taste of this guy before in the past, or experienced this guy rather. Javon Small, excellent player.
The Oklahoma State guy?
Yes, he is back with West Virginia now. And last season, remember, he put up 24 points per game in the 2 games against BYU. He had a 34-point game in Provo, and he had a 14-point game in Stillwater. Javon Small is probably the best player in the Big 12 this season. I think he's the Big 12 player of the year. He's been outstanding.
What? You think?
I really believe so. I think he should get National Player of the Year consideration. He has been elite. Against Utah on Saturday, he was more of a facilitator, had 8 assists. He made 14 points on 5 shots. He was getting to the foul line quite a bit. He has an ability to draw fouls, too. So, Javon Small, excellent player. BYU has got to find a way to, cause turnovers on him, make sure that he's not as efficient of a player as he has been. He has had some big games this season. They are without their, maybe one of their top players, too, Tucker DeVries, the head coach's son. He's been ruled out since November. He's out for the remainder of the season with a shoulder injury. They're hoping to get him back for a medical redshirt next year. But this is a really good West Virginia team who has wins at Kansas. They took down Iowa State. They have a win over Arizona. That was a non-conference game in the Bahamas. So, West Virginia's knocked off the best teams in this league, and they're on their home floor. It's going to be a tough game for BYU.
This is a critical week, Mitch. The NCAA tournament will be secured or lost this week, in my opinion. They're currently 6-6, and you look ahead. Kansas at home, that's winnable. On the road to Arizona, tough. I'm talking next week. After that, you got Arizona State, West Virginia again, on the road at Iowa State, and then you got Utah at the end of the year at home. You got to get to at least, in my opinion, 10. So you got to go 4-4 in the next 8 games. And I don't see them doing that if they don't win at least one game this week. Now, if you're able to get a win against West Virginia on the road, very nice win, and then come back and beat Kansas State, which is one of the top performing teams in the conference right now. Record-wise, they're not near the top, but they're also at 6-6, I believe, in conference play. So they're climbing the standings as well. The Wildcats, you get these two, they're not freebies by any stretch of the imagination. Tough games, as you've laid out. This West Virginia team is good defensively, good point guard. You find a way to win these, and you get to 8-6 by the end of the week, I think you're in a really good shot. ESPN has them right now at about a 70% chance to make the tournament. They think that their analytical performances are better than the record indicates, and I think we'll kind of find that out by the end of the week, Mitch.
Well, and you compare BYU to some of these bubble teams. I'm watching one right now, North Carolina at Clemson. Carolina's getting hammered. BYU's a good team, and they've shown they can compete against some of the best teams in the Big 12. It's just, putting it together every single night. Let's get back out of the phone line because this is your show, Cougar Nation. John from Salt Lake. What's it going to take, John, for BYU to win tomorrow night against West Virginia?
So anytime to win basketball games, you must control the ball. You got to get the rebounds every time. You've got to get the high percentage shots. You just got to control the tempo. If you don't do that, you're going to lose games. And I think BYU's got to win the next 5, and they have to win them substantially. These bubble teams, a lot of them don't make it because they're pretty iffy.
It's a good point, and I totally agree. The rebounding, man, it is so critical because it one, provides you extra chances to score, Mitch, but two, it also limits the other team's ability to score. Look no further than Cincinnati's 16 second chance points against BYU, despite Jizzle James. And let that be the last time we mention his name on this show, by the way. Despite his performance, you take away those 16 second chance points, it's anyone's ball game. So, yeah, I think John is dead on. You have to possess the ball, and rebounding. Rebounding is not like a shooting. Like shooting, you can control a little bit the quality of the shot, but at the end of the day, the result, it's not entirely in your hands. And you hear coaches talk about this all the time, Mitch. It's getting good looks. We can live with good looks. You can't live with being out-rebounded by 15. So I think it's a good point by John.
This is head coach Kevin Young on the morale of the team heading into tomorrow night against WVU.
We had a great practice today, and that's one thing that I really respect about this group of players is they bring it. I got on them pretty good in a film session today with things that I feel like are issues that we need to fix, most of which have nothing to do with scheme. A lot of it is just ball toughness offensively, spacing, just playing a little bit smarter on the offensive end. And then, like I said, the rebounding and the turnovers. So I think I was very impressed with the way that they responded to that meeting we had this morning. Thought we had a really good practice today, and I look forward to us being able to carry that over into the game.
Let's see if they can back it up tomorrow night. BYU, West Virginia, here on KSL, 5 p.m. tip. Great show, Matt, and we will talk to you on Saturday with Cougar Sports Saturday from noon to 3 right here on KSL. Have a great night, everyone.